K2 views at Machilu La Pass. This adventure begins at the border of Pakistan and India, where I crossed late in the day in order to catch the nightly border closing ceremony. I then spent the next week transiting Pakistan to Baltistan in the far northeast, where I reached Skardu. While in Skardu, I visited the K2 Museum, and while there I noticed a photograph, and it inspired me. It was a panoramic view of K2 and the surrounding mountains. I was determined to find that view and take my own photos. I was told it would take me 2 to 4 days to walk to that location, Machilu La. I set out the next day. I made my way to the small village of Machilu and began the trek. I followed the river upstream. Near its source, I cut to a tributary where I found a small rock shelter high up in the cliffs. It provided protection from the elements. I set out early the next day in spite of the rain and the drizzle. I climbed to the ridgeline where I found a small stone village and 2 little boys who led me to an old man who made me tea and shared the day with me. After another cold night, I woke to more rain. On the 3rd day, there was still no sunshine. The clouds were dominant. I spent that day backtracking through bowls at high altitude to try and find the pass. After many hours and guidance from local shepherds, around 2 p.m. I finally reached the pass.
Broad Peak, Gashabram 2, Gashabram 1, K6, K7, Nanga Parbat. None are visible.
Didn't take me 1 hour. Didn't take me 2 hours. Took me 3 hours to get here.
At the pass, I was joined by a shepherd who was searching for his cows. We sat and we watched. We watched the clouds, we watched the mountains, we watched the valley, we watched the river far below, and then the snowflakes began to fall. Hurriedly, I packed my gear and followed him back to the village. By evening, I was back in my stone shelter for another chilly, freezing night. On the morning of the 4th day, the monsoons had arrived. The clouds were permanent. As the shepherds had pointed out, I was too late. The season was over. I packed my gear and made my way back to Skardu. So for 4 days I searched. I searched for a view of K2, and that one can never guarantee in the mountains. This adventure begins a few weeks ago when I crossed the India-Pakistan border. From the border, I traveled to the far-off village of Skardu in the northeast province of Baltistan.
All right, we're leaving Skardu in a rocket ship.
Yeah, I'm Ed. Nice to meet you.
Where are you from, Ed?
I'm from Edinburgh, Scotland.
And we agreed to visit Nanga Parbat's base camp, specifically known as Herligkoffer Base Camp. We then took a jeep across the Deosai Plains to reach the tiny village of Tara Shing, our jump-off point.
Prove your identity. पुलिस वाला भी इधर एंट्री करते हैं। ये इधर गेट पे है मेरे पास।
Yo!
Well, here we are. We've arrived at the Rupard Hotel, which is on the Rupard side of Nanga Parbat. If we are bad, do we go to jail? Any prison? Yeah. No prison. Good morning. It's 8:20 and we'll be off towards Nanga Parbat base camp. Hello. I'm your new teacher. This is Livio having a Pepsi moment with Mirinda.
Base camp sits next to the Ghunghar Glacier. We spent the afternoon at the base camp enjoying the sun and the sights, but due to the heavy winter snows we could go no further. So we turned around and went back to Tarashin. All in all, it was an easy and lovely trek. This is really an outdoor travel activity, yet just getting to and from Atari, the Indian side, or Wagah, the Pakistani side, is more than enough of an adventure. Every evening at 7 p.m., the border crossing is ceremoniously and aggressively closed. It's all entertainment to foreigners, but to the Indians and Pakistanis, it's religion and politics to the extreme. It's a one-of-a-kind ceremony. It's definitely